What if some of the best things you could do for your skin, your joints, and your mobility were already sitting in the produce section, and most people just didn't know to look for them? Because here's what's interesting about collagen. Everyone's heard of it. It's in every supplement ad, every skincare product, every anti-aging cream on the market. And most of the conversation around collagen focuses on what you take: powders, capsules, bone broth. Which, look, some of that has merit. But what that conversation almost completely skips over is what you eat. Specifically, the vegetables that give your body what it needs to actually build and protect collagen on its own. And that distinction matters more than most people realize, especially after 60, because after 60, your body's collagen production has already slowed down significantly. That's not a scare tactic, it's just biology, and no supplement is going to fully override that. But certain foods, certain vegetables specifically, they work with your body's existing systems in a way that supplementation alone doesn't. They provide the raw materials, the cofactors, the compounds that protect the collagen you already have while helping you make more. That's what this video is about. The vegetables that actually move the needle and why they work. Let's talk about what's actually happening with collagen in your body as you get older. Because once you understand the mechanics, the food choices start to make intuitive sense. Collagen is the most abundant protein in your body. It's the structural framework for pretty much everything: your skin, your joints, your cartilage, your tendons, the walls of your blood vessels. Think of it like the scaffolding that holds a building together. When the scaffolding is strong and intact, everything functions the way it should. When it starts to break down, you feel it: stiff joints in the morning, skin that's lost some of its firmness, slower recovery after physical activity, that general sense that your body just doesn't bounce back the way it used to. Now here's the biology of what's happening. Starting somewhere in your mid-30s, your body begins producing less collagen, roughly 1 to 2% less per year. By the time you're in your 60s, you've lost a meaningful amount. And on top of that, the collagen you do have is being broken down faster by something called free radicals, unstable molecules that damage tissue at the cellular level. They come from everyday things: sun exposure, stress, processed foods, normal metabolic processes. So you've got a two-sided problem: less production, faster breakdown. This is where vegetables enter the picture, and why they're more powerful than most people give them credit for. Because the right vegetables do two things simultaneously. They provide the nutrients your body needs to synthesize new collagen, vitamin C being the most critical but not the only one. And they deliver antioxidants that neutralize free radicals and slow the breakdown of existing collagen. That's a 2-for-1 that no single supplement really replicates. And the beauty of getting these compounds through food is that they come packaged with dozens of other beneficial nutrients that work together. The body recognizes whole food. It knows what to do with it. So when we go through these vegetables, keep both sides of that equation in mind. We're not just looking for collagen content, because plants don't actually contain collagen. That's an important distinction. What we're looking for is the nutrients that fuel collagen production and the antioxidants that protect what you've already got. So let's get into the actual vegetables. And I want to start with two that people either underestimate or just don't think about in this context at all. The first one is bell peppers, specifically red bell peppers. Now, if you think of vitamin C, you probably think of oranges, and oranges are fine. But a single red bell pepper contains more vitamin C than an orange, significantly more. We're talking around 150 milligrams in one medium pepper versus roughly 70 in an average orange. And vitamin C isn't just generally good for you. It is directly, mechanically required for collagen synthesis. Your body cannot build collagen without it. It's not optional. It's not a nice bonus. It's a hard biological requirement. Here's what's actually happening at the cellular level. Collagen is made from amino acids, primarily proline and glycine, but those amino acids can't form the tight, stable triple helix structure that makes collagen strong without a process called hydroxylation. And hydroxylation requires vitamin C as a cofactor. No vitamin C, no hydroxylation. No hydroxylation, no stable collagen. The chain breaks right there. So getting consistent, adequate vitamin C through food, not just a one-time supplement dose, but daily, steady intake, is foundational. and red bell peppers are one of the most efficient ways to do that. The second vegetable I want to talk about is broccoli, and broccoli earns its place here for a few reasons. It's another strong source of vitamin C, about 80 milligrams per cup when eaten raw, slightly less when cooked, but still meaningful. But what makes broccoli particularly interesting for collagen specifically is its sulforaphane content. Sulforaphane is a compound that activates a pathway in your cells called NRF2. Think of it as a master switch for your body's antioxidant defense system. When that switch is on, your cells are much better at neutralizing the free radicals that break down collagen. So broccoli is working on both sides of that equation we talked about earlier. I think about this a lot with the people I work with. Someone will come in focused entirely on what supplements they're adding. Collagen powder, vitamin C capsules, and their vegetable intake is an afterthought. And I get it, supplements feel proactive. You're doing something. But the research keeps pointing back to whole food sources as the more sustainable, more bioavailable foundation. I had someone make one change, just adding half a red bell pepper to lunch and a cup of broccoli at dinner, a few times a week. And within a few months, she was commenting on her skin, her joint comfort, her recovery after walks. Simple stuff, consistent stuff. That's the thing about this approach. It doesn't require a dramatic overhaul. It just requires knowing what to reach for. So staying with that idea, let's talk about the next category. And this one covers a family of vegetables rather than just one or two. Leafy greens, specifically spinach, kale, and Swiss chard. Now I know. You've been told to eat your greens your entire life, and at this point it can start to sound like background noise. But stay with me here, because what makes these vegetables relevant to collagen specifically is something most people don't know about, and it goes beyond vitamin C. Leafy greens are one of the best dietary sources of chlorophyll, and chlorophyll, the pigment that makes plants green, has some genuinely interesting research behind it when it comes to collagen protection. There was a study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food that looked at chlorophyll's effect on skin aging specifically, and what they found was that chlorophyll stimulates the production of procollagen, which is essentially the precursor your body uses to build collagen, in skin cells. Measurable increases in actual human skin cells. That's not a trivial finding. But here's what's interesting beyond the chlorophyll. Kale in particular is rich in vitamin K. And vitamin K plays a supporting role in collagen cross-linking, the process that makes collagen fibers strong and durable rather than weak and fragile. Think of it like the difference between a rope with tightly woven fibers versus one that's loosely braided. Same material, very different strength. Vitamin K helps with that structural integrity, and spinach brings something else to the table, iron. Now, iron and collagen might not seem connected at first, but iron is actually another cofactor in the hydroxylation process we talked about earlier. The same process that needs vitamin C also needs iron to work properly. So spinach is quietly supporting collagen synthesis from a different angle than bell peppers are. They're complementary. Which is why variety across these vegetables matters more than just loading up on one. Now here's the part I really want you to think about, because this is where it stops being abstract. Collagen isn't just about how your skin looks. That's how it gets marketed, but that's the smallest part of the story. Collagen is what your cartilage is largely made of. It's what keeps the cushioning in your knees and hips intact. It's what your tendons are built from, the cables that connect your muscles to your bones and make movement possible. And when collagen in those structures degrades faster than your body can replace it, you don't just notice it in the mirror. You feel it every time you stand up from a chair, every time you take the stairs, every time you try to keep up on a walk that used to feel easy. And here's what I want you to understand about that progression. It is slow, it is quiet, and it is largely invisible until it isn't. The people who end up with significant joint degeneration in their 70s didn't get there overnight. They got there through years of the body breaking down collagen faster than it could rebuild it, often because the nutritional building blocks just weren't there consistently, not because of anything dramatic, just a slow, steady deficit that compounded over time. And the same slow, steady logic works in the other direction. That's the part worth holding on to. So with that in mind, let's cover the last two vegetables on this list. and then I want to give you something practical you can actually use. The first one is garlic. And garlic earns its place here through a compound called allicin, the same compound responsible for its distinctive smell. Allicin has well-documented anti-inflammatory properties, and inflammation is one of the primary drivers of collagen breakdown. When your tissues are in a state of chronic low-grade inflammation, which is extremely common after 60 and often completely silent, collagen degrades faster. Consistently, every day. Garlic, used regularly in cooking, helps dial that down. It's not dramatic, it's not a cure. But as one part of a broader dietary pattern, it's genuinely pulling in the right direction. There was actually research published in the journal Nutrients looking at organosulfur compounds, the family allicin belongs to, and their role in protecting connective tissue from oxidative damage. The findings supported what we see clinically. Regular garlic consumption is associated with better connective tissue health over time. And the dose doesn't have to be huge. A clove or two in your cooking several times a week is enough to get meaningful benefit. The second one is sweet potato, and this one surprises people. Sweet potatoes are one of the richest plant sources of beta-carotene, which your body converts to vitamin A. And vitamin A plays a very specific role in collagen synthesis that's separate from everything else we've talked about. It regulates the genes that control collagen production. Think of it as the manager of the process rather than one of the workers. When vitamin A levels are adequate, your body gets the signal to keep collagen production running properly. When they're low, and a lot of people over 60 are quietly low in vitamin A, that signaling gets disrupted. The skin connection here is actually well established. Retinoids, which are vitamin A derivatives, are among the most researched compounds in dermatology, specifically because of their effect on collagen gene expression. Getting vitamin A through food, through beta-carotene from sweet potatoes, carrots, leafy greens, is a gentler, more sustained way to support that same pathway. Now here's what I want you to actually do with all of this, because I don't want you to walk away thinking you need to completely overhaul your diet or eat all of these every single day. That's not realistic, and it's not necessary. What is realistic is this. Pick 2 or 3 of these vegetables and start working them into your meals consistently. Red bell peppers are easy. Slice them raw, add them to a salad, throw them in a stir-fry. Broccoli and spinach are some of the most versatile vegetables there are. Sweet potato is one of the most satisfying, filling foods you can eat. Garlic goes in almost everything. These aren't exotic ingredients that require special shopping trips. They're already there. It's just a matter of reaching for them intentionally. And here's the thing about consistency that I think gets undersold. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be regular. A little of the right stuff most days, over a long stretch of time, that is what actually moves the needle on collagen, on joint health, on how your body feels and functions as you get older. That's the real answer. Not the supplement that promises results in 30 days. Not the dramatic diet overhaul you can't sustain. Just good, steady, intentional eating, built around foods that are genuinely working for you. Start with 1 vegetable this week. Just 1. Add it somewhere it fits naturally, and build from there. If this was helpful, I'd love for you to subscribe. I put out videos like this every week. And take a moment to think about where you want to be a year from now, 2 years from now. The choices you make in the produce aisle today are part of that picture, more than most people realize. Take good care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.